And okay, so just start by give a short intro about yourself and how you ended up in your law school. And
Right. Hi. So my name is Vibhu Pahuja. I'm from Gurgaon. So I was a CLAT aspirant. Like I decided to give CLAT in my 11th grade only. I was very certain that I'm inclined towards law. So like I did have alternatives, but I still preferred doing law over other. I got admitted into NLIU after 12th grade, and honestly, this has been one of the better decisions that I have made regarding my college decision. And it's safe to say that it has not been the wrong decision until now, considering I'm in my second year only. So let's see how it happens from now onwards.
great, great. So okay, so just tell me about what is it like being in your campus, what your campus has to offer, and how a normal day in your law school is.
Right. So we have a very big campus, to be honest. So it's that big that you get tired of walking itself. So our day starts with classes at 9 a.m. The classes get over at 1:30 p.m. and after that like we go for lunch, and we have a very big uh sports complex. So if you're interested in gymming or sports, it's a very good thing to do after you can get on with your classes. And again, we have our library called Gyan Mandir, which is very extensive and really big, so and has a lot of resources, by be it by VPN or originally in the form of hard copies as well. So like it keeps us kind of occupied. So our campus is really huge, and again, then we have a mess, but there's no common mess for girls and boys. Like boys have a different mess. The food is fairly decent. It's not the best food, but again, we're in college, so we cannot expect the best food. So as per college standards, the food standards are like pretty decent in my opinion, and it has been easy for me to survive on that until now, of course. And after the classes, like it depends on what your priorities are. So if some people are occupied in deliverables such as moots and other competitions, for them it's to rush off to the library because well that is one of the very rare places that people get to work in silence and in a work ethical fashion. Otherwise, if you're interested in sports, like we start playing at around 5 p.m. itself, and the sports complex I think closes at 9 p.m. So you can play until 9 p.m. any sport you want. So like our sports campus is accommodative of all the sports. We have an indoor badminton court, and there's a volleyball court, basketball court, like and a football field. So I think that's how we spend time until our evening. After that, we try to get on with our projects until the night, and then we doze off until morning, and the same cycle repeats again.
And what about sports fest and literary fest and any other fests that happen in your campus?
Yeah, so our college organizes a sports fest known as Virudka. It's, I think, like for what I know, it's the largest sports fest in the country for law schools. So it's a very good fest. Like a lot of teams appear for the competition. There's great competition. So I participated in the football team last year. So I could see the number of teams and how heavy the competition was among people. And it's a great fest. Like there are food stalls from various places to, and anyway, they keep you occupied. So there's another fest of ours, this MP04. It's music and art fest. Like it's a cultural fest, to be honest, which includes debating, etc. So that is another thing that has also taken place. And this year, I think we saw very progressive development in MP04. It took place very well. A lot of teams came for the competition. So I was in the debating thing. So it went off pretty well, to be honest. It was very good competition, to say at the least.
Yeah, and apart from cultural and sports fest, your university also organizes many moot courts, many ADR competitions. So just tell us which competitions you organize.
Yeah, right. So we organized three moods, and from this year onwards, we've shifted to two ADR competitions. One's IN ADR, and the other is NLIU Khaitan International Negotiation Competition. So these are two, and then there's RK Tanka arbitration mood, client counseling mood, and a corporate law mood. So I think like universities all over the India participate in these competitions, and they've taken place in a fairly well manner. So yeah.
Just tell us how hostels at your law school are.
All right, like the hostels are pretty decent. Like we have two hostels, for one is for the first and second years, the other hostels for the remaining years. The hostels are pretty spacious. The rooms are pretty decent. There's like double sharing capacity in the first 2 years of your law school, and then you get a single room when you shift to the other hostel. Otherwise, there are like 4 washrooms like per floor in a hostel. So that isn't a problem either. And like all the basic facilities are taken care of by the hostel caretaker. So that is pretty decent. Like, and there's a common room where there's a TV, table tennis, like even though there's one there are a couple of them in the sports complex, but we have them in the hostel as well, so like you can go and play anytime. Otherwise, yeah, the hostels are pretty decent. Like they give us a mattress and a cupboard and a study table with a chair per person. So I think like all the basic amenities are taken care of by the hostel facility, like the caretaking
Okay, great.
people.
And the last question being that just